Hey friends, Lucian here with the Bullish Bears team. Wanted to make this video on the V-bottom candlestick pattern. Again, you'll start to see these happen a lot on stock charts. I mean, I have a couple pointed right on this stock chart here. This is the SPX. I could actually see several that I haven't even highlighted. You'll see them. It's just a very, very common pattern. And what you'll see is kind of like the stock has a sharp sell-off and kind of creates like, like the bulls kind of come back in, kind of try to push it back up, creates kind of a V pattern. So you'll see kind of this V. Now, a lot of times there'll be a pullback before a breakout, and then sometimes there won't be. So you can see there's a V here. You can see also V's within a V. You can see a V here with a pullback here, and then you'll see it's also part of a larger V where it goes up over here. So kind of like sometimes you'll see cup and handles, you'll see the cup kind of extends up a little bit higher. A lot of times that'll happen with the V bottom as well. You can see a V here, kind of stops back here, pulls back right there before it goes back up again, pulls back again. So you can kind of see this pullback area right over here before it kind of breaks out above the top, right? So it's like a sharper cup and handle, kind of a bottom here, like a V bottom, pulls back, breaks out. So cup and handle's got kind of a more of a U shape over here. But again, got some similarities. You can see over here, V, like a real sharp V. You can see kind of a top right over here, right? Get a minor little pullback over here, boom, breakout. You can see right over here, nice V. Let me just remove this. I was going to show you several examples on other charts, but you can just see right here as I'm doing this, V bottom after V bottom just everywhere. You can see V here, and then you can kind of see here, pull back right here, right? And then break out, right? Again, not all the time is it going to break out. Many times, just like any type of stock pattern, there'll be failures. So just because you see it doesn't mean it's going to break to the upside. That's where you got to find the support and resistance levels, right? So you can see resistance up here, but you can see that there was kind of like, there's V's down below as well on the way up. Again, over here, there's a V bottom pattern breakout before it hits the top over here. So you can have several different breakout areas. You just got to be careful, just watch all the support and resistance levels. You can see over here, another one. You see how all these patterns, they just start to jump out at you. Another V bottom here, pull back right here, break out. But look, right here, it still had this area right up over here to contend with, right up top. So V, pull back, right? Broke up again, hit resistance, pulled back, broke out, came back down, retested before it broke out again, right? And then it turns into other positions. So patterns as well. You can see the V bottom could also be part of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. Look, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline here, and then it just keeps going up. So just like there could be patterns within patterns, you can see there's multiple breaks on this neckline on the way up here. There's multiple breaks on the neckline on the inverse head and shoulder and can go all the way up, right? So you can see this is one big, right here, a major inverse head and shoulders within this. So there's a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, necklines on the way up, and then you can take this big left shoulder, big head, big right shoulder, and you can kind of zoom out, and then you can have, there you go, has the break, right? So patterns within patterns within patterns, so important. All right, let's take a look at several other examples. So as you can see, V bottom there, just point them out on charts, right? They start to glare right out at you, right? V bottom there, V bottom here, tiny one up over here. Let's take a look at CANN, C-A-N-N, well-known pump and dump, pot stock company. You can see big V bottom here. Didn't even have a pullback. It went up. But if you zoom in, there was a V here with a pullback here of a flag there before it broke out. So there was a V, pulled back, went up, had resistance up here, didn't pull back, it just broke out, right? But if you look up over here, here's another V, right? Big V, kind of went up a little bit and then crashed, right? You'll start to see these all over the place, all over the stock charts. USO. This one's got so many of them here on these charts, like almost too many to count. You can see, let me zoom in over down here. You could see a V here, right? You could see a V, not as sharp of a V. This is kind of like to show you like almost a V and a cup and handle, right? You can see there's similarities of V, but also kind of a cup and a handle. Again, got to find support and resistance levels, right? So sometimes they're going to be sharp. You can see this is kind of a V, but it's also kind of like a cup and handle as well. And you can see there's like V's in between. So there's a V here with a breakout, but then it's part of a bigger overall pattern. So you can call this almost a cup and handle. Many times these V bottoms turn into almost a double bottom. So you can see here, look at this, bottom here, bottom here. So V bottoms or U bottoms, which have similarities. So again, this is where we tell people, don't get bogged down in the minutia, right? Do you want to call those V's or do you want to call them U's? Is this more of a U? Is this more of a V? Is this more of a U? Who cares, right? Find the support levels, right? It's showing a support level, and then you can see resistance levels above, right? Very important to watch. Let's take a look at the symbol for gold. You can see here, this one right here is a big U pattern, right? And then you can see some sharp V's. Let's zoom in here, and you can see here's a V right here, V bottom, pull back, V, pull back, breakout. Look right here, just kind of draw the line. Resistance. Again, if you don't know how to draw support and resistance, take our free courses. Join our membership site. We teach you, again, we're only $10 a month. We have all private members content teaching you how to draw trend lines. You can see V bottom looks similar to a cup and then the handle as well. So again, is that a V or is that a U? Who cares, right? You can see kind of went down, formed a base, pulled back, broke out. Same thing over here, right? Oh, not that one. Kind of highlight this right here. Form kind of a V, pull back. You can see resistance up here, broke out. This one right here looks kind of more like a U. A U, a V, who cares? You know, and I see the similarities. Kind of a U or a V, pull back. U or a V, pull back. U, kind of a handle. And then you can see overall, maybe you want to call that a V, right? Kind of like this. So you can see similarities to an inverse head and shoulders. You could say either a head, left shoulder, right shoulder, neckline up here. You can see how many of times these U's or V's and these bottoms that are created look like other patterns, like inverse head and shoulders. So you can see right here, you know, this one right here has sort of a V pattern here, but it's also got a left shoulder, head, right shoulder for an inverse, basically head and shoulder. See how those patterns kind of come together? Many of these patterns, just that's, again, it's all patterns within patterns within patterns, and that's what we teach you in our candlesticks courses. Let's take a look at Scott's Miracle-Gro. Here's a V1 that kind of went towards the side and kind of failed, right? So you can see right here, kind of a sideways V, and it didn't break out, but if you look and you draw your trend lines, kind of drew it across right here. This is where you can then see, this is why it's so important to see, you know, be able to draw your trend lines. You can see kind of a breakout over in this area over here rather than horizontal. It's kind of sideways, broke out a little bit, but then you still got to be aware of horizontal support and resistance up here, which it failed, right? It didn't make it up there. My line's a little bit off, but you get the point, right? So another V. You can see a V down here, right? Kind of a V in this area here. Let me erase that. Draw right here. Somewhat of a V right here. Kind of sloppy, a little bit of drop down, went back up, pulled back a little bit, and then started to break above. But look, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then finding these necklines, right? V bottoms many of times turn into inverse head and shoulder. Let's take a look at Kara here. You'll see Kara had a little bit of a wider V right here. See that? Kind of a V, not as pointed, but it's still got a V shape, pull back, breakout, right? You see these patterns over and over and over again. There's kind of a V pattern here. There's kind of a V right here. And then this one failed. This one kind of pulled back and then just tanked, right? You can see V patterns over here, you know. Many times they'll go up and fail. Many times they'll go up and break out, right? This one went and broke out. This one went, kind of broke out a little bit, came back down, kind of went choppy, and then it broke out, right? Fell right back down over here, got a little bit of a pop, failed, right? Doesn't mean they're always going to break out. So important. And let's take a look at one more very big, massive one right over here. Huge GWPH. Draw a line right here, find the neck. You know, you can see a neckline right over here, right up top here. Big, sharp V. You'll also notice, look at inside of here when I zoom in. Very, very important. Big V, smaller V, another kind of V or a U, right? You see these patterns within the patterns, and they're still rejecting off that neck or that top of that cup or the top of the V. Doesn't make it here, goes back up, rejects back down, up, rejects, up, down, goes down here. So it just forms this other, again, almost like a flat top, right? So now you can just, again, all about these patterns, right? You can kind of follow, get almost like a triangular. So you can almost see like an ascending triangle being formed in this V bottom and then turns into all these patterns. U bottom, ascending triangle, V, bull flags and bull wedges up there. That might be a symmetrical or a pennant right over here, right? Pennant kind of pattern, kind of change the line a little bit. But my point being is it's all patterns within patterns within patterns. It's all about support and resistance. These patterns make up incredibly important support and resistance lines. And if you don't know these lines, if you don't know candlesticks, you're going to fail as a trader. I wish there was a simpler way around it, but it takes looking at hundreds, if not thousands of charts for these things to all start popping out at you. So hopefully this video helped you. Again, there's lots of different candlestick patterns. Take our courses to learn all about all the different ones.